RLCS Week 5 predictions. NA was nutty last week. Europe was also nutty. It was the craziest week yet. To put it into perspective, I only had, I think, like 6 total losses on the season for the first 3 weeks combined with NA and Europe. I had 6 losses on just this weekend alone. So it was pretty wild. Ghost, they started out big with that 3-2 over Space Station. Again, Illusion, absolutely nutty. Doing everything right, basically. Shot location on point. Passes on point. Solo plays on point when needed though. He was just playing out of his mind. So well done to Ghost to stay alive. And then they needed another win too to really make sure they stay alive. And they got it over Rogue with a huge 3-0. So both of those matches I got wrong. I owe Ghost an Octane decal, that's for sure. So well done by them. They also kept Space Station down. Like their defense, very, very clutch. Look at that. The only game, one game got away from them for 5 goals. But then they had 4 games with 1 goal or 0. And then here, once again, 3 more games, 1 goal or 0. So the Ghost defense has always been there. Their offense has been a little but their defense got even better this week, and their offense popped off. So well done to Ghost. Huge week for them. So both of those wrong. G2 over Splice, we all got right. Splice is on a 12-game losing streak, and they are officially out. So we don't have to talk about them too much, but they definitely have to figure something out going into that promotion tournament. Who knows? Maybe they start using Jacob. I doubt it, but who knows? Maybe it happens. EG versus Splice, same thing. Like Splice, come on, man. Just get Elwin somewhere. I was hoping Splice would show up a little bit in that series, just because it was their last chance, and it just didn't happen. So Splice is donezo. Space Station over Cloud9. So this was the one that Leaf was trying to give me credit for when we had our meeting earlier in the week. And he's like, hey, you did say it in the pre-show. And I can't take credit for that. Like, obviously, like, there was a chance, but Space Station, to me, like, it did look very similar to when FlyQuest played them last season, where I feel like Space Station is similar in, like, a lot of pressure, a lot of speed, but just not as mechanically gifted as Cloud9 normally. But the same thing could be said about FlyQuest of last season. And then FlyQuest goes and beats Cloud9. It seems like Cloud9 is having a lot of trouble with teams based on speed. So Space Station gets the win here. Absolutely huge for them because they lost to Ghost earlier. So they could have been down trying to fight for a playoff spot as well. They play Rogue next week or in week 5. That would have been like a win-and-in scenario. Now they're basically clinched. All they have to do is win one single game to clinch top 6. And that's just individual game, not like a series. So they play Splice as well. So they don't have to worry too much there. So huge for Space Station. So we got that one wrong, just like everyone else. And then Energy over G2. Energy's looking really strong. Like Waller said that G2 was like putting up a fight. And I think they were to an extent. But I still think Energy mostly had control of the series. The one good thing from G2 was they kept the scoring low. Because that's going to be the one problem. Like Energy's offense has looked so good versus everyone else that G2 keeping the score low, that's a positive. The problem is they also didn't put a lot of goals in the back of the net themselves, and I think their weird like 2-1 formation that they've been using most of the season is not going to pay off against European teams or the best in North America. So I am a little concerned about that. So hopefully they can change that around. So that is what happened in NA. And we will go over to Europe real quick. We'll talk about what happened, and then we'll do both predictions. I think that'll be a little easier to do. All right. Oh, Silent Shark is here. Hello, Silent Shark. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? And you, the yummy of the cheese man. All right. So let's get into it. What happened in Europe last week? Again, also pretty wild week. So Barcelona, like I got those two right. Pretty simple to get that right. Mouse Sports and the Bricks. The Bricks haven't been looking good. And my bold prediction at the start of the season as them as number 7 is looking pretty good right now. We'll see if that pays off in week number 5. But the Bricks really just haven't shown anything. Like, they didn't do anything versus Barcelona. They scored 1 goal at the very end of it. It was kind of rough. Or should I start calling them Barca? Because people want me to start calling them Barca. But I like Barcelona better. But whatever. And Mouse actually didn't look terrible this weekend. Well, like, the problem was they didn't look bad, but they just didn't get the win. Like, versus PSG, they had a chance, but they didn't get the win, and now they're basically done. So that's the problem. Like, Mouse Sports looked competitive, and I like to see that, but they didn't get the win. You know, it's as simple as that. They do move everyone up on offense like crazy, and they just try for demos. And PSG eventually kind of figured that out. It took them a while, but they did get it done eventually. But PSG is always a scary team to watch. You just don't know what's going to happen with them. They've had 3 Game 5s in a row at that point, and then they go and beat TSM. Pretty much because, I think PSG played well, but also TSM, a lot of defensive misses, just complete whiffs. It was really strange. Mets Norris had 3 or 4 whiffs himself. And some of those were aerial dribble type plays by PSG, but they were pretty easily readable. So I'm surprised with the amount of misses from TSM. So they got to clean that up now really quick, and they went from number 2 to number 5 this past week. So that's a little rough for them. Triple Trouble getting a huge win over Dignitas at 3-2. They also obviously beat Vitality, which that game was crazy, where Vitality didn't look that on point, but Triple Trouble has been looking great. A lot of passing plays coming out. A lot of plays off the wall from Ronicky or Casio to the other guy. Tadpole getting involved a bunch as well with some solo plays. So I really like what I'm seeing from Triple Trouble. This is the Triple Trouble I saw at DreamHack that I wanted to see more of, and we're finally starting to see it. So they're looking good. The problem is for them is they're 4-2. They have 1 game left, but they're at 0 right now game differential. So they're not going to win any tiebreakers. So they need a lot of help to clinch the top 2 spot. It's looking good for them to make top 4. Depending on some other results, but actually it's not even looking that good for top 4, to be fair. So they have some work cut out for them because they play Barcelona this week, but they look really good, and I think they could easily make the World Championship, but we'll see. All right, next up, what else did we talk about? So basically there's 3 big winners this week. PSG, Triple Trouble, and Barcelona. They all went 2-0 on the week. And the other thing I wanted to cover is probably Dignitas. I felt like it was a weird series because I felt like Violent Panda played terribly. But then he was the only one to actually put the ball in the back of the net when it mattered most. But I thought a lot of the plays by Violent Panda were pretty rough. So I was surprised what happened there. We got that one wrong. We had 3-2 Dignitas in that one. Dignitas is in trouble, but I think at least the one caveat is they don't look as bad as the Bricks, but you don't want to go into the final week where everything matters for one match, so that's going to be really interesting to see as well. But let's go back over to NA, and we'll talk about our predictions going forward this week. Right now, in the caster pick'em, if you guys are keeping track at home, which you probably can't be because it's impossible, I'm in first place. Woo! First place. 1 game above Achieves. I think Achieves is 2 games above, Leaf or someone like that. And then Wave, I think Leaf and Wave are tied, and Jorby and Lawler are tied or something like that for last. It's something like that. But I got to hold my 1 game lead over Achieves, and we'll see if that'll take place this weekend. So we'll see if I can win it for the 2nd straight season, even though last season didn't really count. But let's go over our NA predictions. All right. Oh, God. I'll lose my lead this weekend. It's probably, it could happen. I think there's a decent amount of 50-50 games. Let's start out. DGG. All right, 3-0 Space Station over Splice. Splice, I'm hoping they show up and at least get a win or 2. But they just haven't looked good. And there's no reason to doubt Space Station for that series. Splice is not playing for much. So Space Station, I think, wins that, and they clinch top 6, and they have a really good chance at top 4 at that point. So I think Space Station wants to win every single game possible and take that. Now, one of the juicier games, Energy versus Cloud9. So it's weird because I feel like everyone's going to go Energy, and I think everyone probably would have went Energy anyway. Maybe a few C9s, but obviously because C9 lost to Space Station, I think a lot of people are going to be like, it has to be Energy. And I'm going to go Energy as well because, that makes sense. But Cloud9 can definitely beat Energy. It's definitely possible. Obviously, throughout the offseason, Energy had Cloud9's number. A lot of close series, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is another one of those really close series. But Energy just look too good right now. Maybe best in the world. I think I would still have Vitality over them, if they played today. Even though Vitality lost the series, I think I would still put Vitality over them. But Energy looks super good. So I'm going to go Energy here, and they will get that number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Next up, Space Station Rogue. Rogue desperately needs a win. They need at least a 3-1 win somewhere to stay alive and to clinch a playoff berth. But I think time's kind of run out for Rogue at this point. It's going to be really difficult for them to find a win. I think Space Station is better. Rogue, extremely disappointing result last weekend. And one of the things that I want to point out is this schedule changed. Week 5 schedule is now different based on playoff scenarios to keep people alive longer, or have teams clinch on their own merits. And when a lot of people complain on Reddit, or some people I should say, about warm-up games. Now Rogue has to play Space Station that's warmed up. Well, I went back and looked since Season 4 when we didn't have back-to-back series anymore, and teams were 23-30. So 23 wins, 30 losses when they played a warm-up game versus a cold team. So I don't think it's necessarily a thing. I think fans just want an excuse for why their team is doing bad. And Rogue is obviously going to be scrimming people before they play. They're probably scrimming EG or Ghost. Almost absolutely 100% right before they play. So I don't think that's a big issue, but I think Space Station is just the better team. And Rogue did not show up last weekend. I was actually disappointed in how AJ played last weekend. I thought he didn't play all that well. The weekend before, I thought it was more on Wonder. I feel like this weekend AJ didn't play amazing. No one did really on Rogue, but I thought AJ kind of let down the team at certain times. So I'm going to go 3-1 Space Station, and this is really going to hurt Rogue's chances of qualifying for the playoffs. Next up, Ghost versus EG. So this is a win and in scenario, and could also be the losing team gets in as well. And say Space Station beats Rogue, it's very likely that we just see Ghost and EG play one another next week in that 5-6 spot. So, because if Space Station beats Rogue, then they clinch that number 4 seed, or at least number 4, that they can pass Cloud9 as well. But Ghost versus EG is definitely a coin flip. It's very hard because I feel like EG hasn't shown a ton. They obviously 3-0'd Splice last week. And, it's good. Two games were overtime. It's good, but Ghost obviously looked better last week. But the problem is that the Ghost that we're going to see every single week. We've seen Illusion have a lot of mistakes. He had a lot of great plays this past week. He still has some misses, though, here or there. Some weird wall touches where he just completely whiffs on the ball. So I don't think he's, mechanically maybe the greatest thing in the world. It's just he made big-time plays in big-time moments, which is awesome. I just don't know if those big-time moments will happen again. I'm going to go EG here in a very close series. I'm going to go 3-2. I think EG might be slightly better than Ghost. Not much better, but slightly better. And this will very likely be a rematch the following week, number 5 versus number 6. So we'll see how that goes. Energy Rogue. So at this point, if Energy beats C9, they have clinched number 1 seed, basically, I think. Yeah, because G2 won't be able to catch them, most likely, in win differential, based on whatever happens here. So this game, they don't have much to play for, but Energy is still way too talented to lose. Even when they played at DreamHack qualifiers, where they weren't really trying all that hard, they still won the whole thing. So Energy is still going to win here, so I wouldn't worry about that. And also, if anyone's talking about Cloud9, about the DreamHack, how they kind of just played like crap, it's I don't think DreamHack qualifiers really mattered all that much to the Big Three, because they were whatever, we're going to go either way. It's hard to be, incentivized to play when you know you're going anyway. And also, they knew they had a really good chance of just getting a spot no matter what. So, who knows how hard they were trying. But Energy, when they don't try, they're still really good. So, maybe that's a plus. I don't know. Next up, G2 versus Cloud9. Probably the match of the week. This one is for all the marbles for a top 2 spot to get that automatic World Championship bid. And, I don't think the other team is necessarily safe. We've seen Cloud9 lose the Space Station. We've seen G2 have close series versus these other teams. So, definitely not safe for a World Championship spot. So everyone expects them both to make it. But you want to make it before playoff time. I'm going to give this one to Cloud9. I am kind of worried about that G2 offense, where they're trying to just play a 2-man offensive game. And I heard some rumblings that during DreamHack they were trying to move Rizzo up a little bit more, but I don't know. I think I'm going to give C9 the win here. Like, I think it might be a little too late to try and change it at this point. I was hoping they would have that changed earlier throughout the season, but like Rizzo, like if anyone had him on fantasy, I feel bad for you because he has like no stats. It's not really his fault. It seems like a team dynamic of like, here's what we want to do. And I just don't know if that's going to work versus the top teams. I just don't know. So we'll see if they can change it in time, or maybe they play that way and just play really good defense and beat out Cloud9. But I'm going to give 3-2 to Cloud9 in that one. Rizzo changed Octane so easy when I love when people are like, oh, he changed his car. So it's like half of it's joking, but the other half is like kind of serious. And it's just funny. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. All right. Moving on. We're going to go to Europe. See how this goes. Europe. All right. Here we go. All right. Mouse versus Vitality. We don't even have to talk about this one. Oh, I got to do it the other way. I always do it the wrong way. 3-0 Vitality. We'll see if Mouse shows up. They at least have something to play for. But I think Vitality is just too inherently good. And the defensive Mouse usually makes a lot of weird mistakes. Like I felt like Tigre last week as well. A lot of weird third-person challenges where he would just completely whiff. Like there was one fake by Bluey. I think it was Bluey. Where he just literally didn't do anything on his dribble. And Tigre just skies over him super early. Like I feel like he's having a real hard time on the defensive end. He's great on the offensive end. But he's having a real hard time on the defensive end. And it's going to be really hard to play defense against Vitality, who all have extreme 1v1 skills. Plus passing plays, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. Like I think the defense could fall apart for Mouse. And Vitality should get the easy win. And they will clinch the number 1 seed if they get one individual game win, Vitality. So they're not really playing for anything either. So maybe that helps Mouse. But I still got Vitality at 3-0. Next up, the Bricks versus TSM. So TSM, it's weird because for the beginning of the season, I'm like, I'm not really sold on them. Then they finally sell me in week number 3. They finally do it. And then they lay an egg in week number 4. So I don't know what is going on with TSM. I think TSM will still have a 2-0 week, but I think it could be some closer series. I'm going to go 3-2 TSM. But I think it could be closer. Man, I just can't. I can't function. TSM will get their 2 wins, but I think they will be closer series because I think the Bricks and Dig are trying to get the best possible scenario they can get going into that final game. And that final game is going to mean a lot. But I think TSM will still get the win over the Bricks. Maybe even a 3-1, actually. We'll go 3-1 Bricks or TSM. But this game, the next one, very important game. Barcelona Triple Trouble. So basically, if Triple Trouble loses this, they fall to 4-3. Barcelona's 4-3. Team Solo Mid is very likely 4-3 or better. And game differential is not good for Triple Trouble. So this is a very important game for them to avoid 5th place and to have a chance at number 2. They have an outside chance because they need basically TSM to not win both games, or they need PSG to lose to Barcelona as well. But Triple Trouble, they're definitely in danger of going down to that number 5 seed. And again, like if Dignitas makes it out, you still don't want to play in the playoffs. You just don't. I think Barcelona's the better team here, though. Slightly, maybe, based on the past weeks. I think Triple Trouble is looking really good, but I think Barcelona is definitely that next team up. So I'm going to go Barcelona. We'll go 3-2. Let's make it a series. So Barcelona moves up. They have a chance now at a top 2 spot going up against PSG later. Triple Trouble most likely falling down to 5th place. And they will most likely play Dignitas if I decide to choose them versus the Bricks, which we'll get to in a bit. Dignitas, TSM. I'm going TSM. Another victory here. I think this one could be a surprise, and Dignitas could get the win. And if they do, that looks fantastic going into the Bricks. But I think Dignitas still has too many issues. But I'm going to go that TSM is not going to look as great as they looked as well this week. So I'm going 3-2 TSM here. Barcelona, PSG. PSG's playing well when they want to play well. Like it's weird. They're playing well, but they had like 2 Game 5 wins lately or 3 Game 5 wins lately. it's just hard. Or, I'm sorry, 2 Game 5s and 1 Game 5 loss. My apologies earlier. But it's hard to tell what PSG will show up. But I think we know what we're getting out of Barcelona. I'm giving this to Barcelona. I think that they're the better team than PSG, but I think PSG, when they're playing at top form, that they can take down anyone, but they just have weird ebbs and flows right now. But I'm going to go Barcelona. So if Barcelona gets that win, that would mean that they get the number 2 spot. So Barcelona will be the first rival series team ever to go to the World Championship from the previous season. So that's really cool. They have a +1 game differential over TSM, so the games are going to matter a lot. So if Barcelona wins 2, they also have to make sure they stay ahead of TSM. And obviously Barcelona games are more difficult than TSM's, but I think TSM is going to have closer series. So I think Barcelona will narrowly edge out TSM for that number 2 spot. TSM, they obviously got their 2 wins. They would be the number 3 seed. So they would be right here. And then number 4 seed would be PSG. Right there, and Triple Trouble would be here. So that's what I have right there. Then Dignitas Bricks for all the marbles. So weird to see, man. It's so weird to see. We have the WSOE winners. We have the DreamHack winners. We also have the team that was considered the greatest team to ever play Rocket League for like a year and a half. And now they're down here. It's insane. The Bricks haven't shown enough to me. Also, my bold prediction at the start of the season was 7th place for the Bricks. And I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to give Dignitas the win here. We're going to go 3-1 Dignitas. This is basically a win-and-in series. It depends on what happens earlier. But right now, their game differential is really close. -7 and -6. So Dig has a slight advantage. But it matters based on the TSM game. So the one way that this game does not matter, and that's possible, is if Dig sweeps TSM and TSM sweeps the Bricks. That's the only way that this game does not matter. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because we want this game to obviously matter. But Dig could have the worst day ever and get swept by TSM. The Bricks could go 3-0 over TSM, but if Dig sweeps the Bricks, no matter what, they're in. So that's what Dig has because of that game differential tiebreaker. So that's always nice. I think the Bricks do not have that option, obviously, because they're 1 game below Dignitas, so that's why. But it's going to be very interesting to see who goes to relegation. Neither Dignitas or the Bricks have ever been there before. So, going to be very interesting. And honestly, both of these teams lost to rival series teams in that DreamHack qualifier. Who knows how hard they were trying again? You never know. But the Bricks were definitely trying. That's for sure, because they weren't going to Dallas if they didn't get that invite. Dignitas, who knows? I assume they were trying pretty hard because they need to figure out their season, and why not do it in a DreamHack qualifier? So both these teams lost to rival series teams. Who knows? One of these teams could be in the rival series next season. That would be insane. But all the marbles, and I love this last matchup, man. It's like so much on the line here. It's absolutely insane. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. A lot of drama happening there. But I hope you guys are excited. Hope you guys will enjoy the weekend. But that's it for my predictions. You tell me what I got right or wrong. Real quick, we'll go over my leaderboard. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I'm breaking things. So, for my Europe scenario, it'll be Vitality number 1. Number 2, Barcelona. Number 3, TSM. Number 4, PSG. Number 5, Triple Trouble. Number 6, Dignitas. Number 7, Bricks. Number 8, Mouse Sports. We'll go back over to NA. Just so you guys know where the standings are. Too much drama. Energy number 1, Cloud9 number 2, G2 number 3, Space Station number 4, then we got EG number 5, and then Ghost number 6, Rogue number 7, and Splice number 8. So Rogue and Splice going to relegation on this side. We'll have a rematch of Ghost EG in the following week, and also we'll have a rematch of Space Station G2 from week number 1, where Space Station took it to 5 games. So that should be really exciting. But that's if that all pans out. Who knows? Gonna be very exciting. Make sure you pay attention on the desk. I have playoff scenario vids up right now on the channel that we made while I was out there on the laptop. So they're a little ghetto style, but they're fun, especially the Europe one. But if you don't want to watch that, it's perfectly fine. Before every single series, I will let you know what a team needs to do to qualify, to clinch, whatever. So just pay attention to me on the desk. We'll be talking about that. We'll be having a good time. Pre-show starts at 11:30 Pacific time on Saturday and 8:30 Pacific time on Sunday, so definitely come check those out. We've been working hard on those. I hope you guys enjoy the pre-shows because they've been a lot of fun for us, and it's a good alternative, I guess, to overtime that a lot of people ask for. And, yeah, that'll do it for me for predictions. I'll see you this weekend. I'll see you next week when we're going to be jumping to Tilted Towers. And, yeah, that's it. Adios, YouTube.